Legendary swords. Through history, for over 3,000 years, one weapon has decided the fate of empires, kings, and civilizations. The sword. From the sun-baked battlefields of ancient Greece to the frozen fjords of the Vikings, from the royal courts of Persia to the war-torn plains of India, swords were more than weapons. They were symbols of power, honor, and identity. Today, we're going to journey through 6 of the most iconic swords in human history and discover the stories, the steel, and the secrets behind each one. Long before firearms changed the face of war, the sword ruled the battlefield. Every culture that ever went to war developed its own version, shaped by its geography, its enemies, and its way of life. Some swords were built for speed, others for brutal power. Some were shrouded in myth, believed to be forged with the help of the gods themselves. In this video, we'll explore 6 legendary blades: the Xiphos of ancient Greece, the Jian and Dao of China, the mysterious Ulfberht sword of the Vikings, the curved Shamshir of Persia, and the deadly Talwar of India. Each one tells a different story about the people who carried it into battle. The Xiphos was the sidearm of the ancient Greek warrior, a short, double-edged, leaf-shaped blade usually no longer than 60 centimeters. While the spear was the primary weapon of the Greek hoplite, the Xiphos was his last line of defense, drawn only when the spear broke or the battle collapsed into close, brutal combat. Its short length made it ideal for the chaos of the phalanx, where soldiers stood shoulder to shoulder with barely any room to swing a longer blade. Spartan warriors were said to favor an even shorter version, embracing the idea that a warrior who gets close enough to use it has already won half the fight. The Jian is often called the gentleman of weapons in Chinese culture. A straight, double-edged sword, it demanded precision, balance, and discipline to wield effectively. Qualities that made it a favorite not just of soldiers, but of scholars, nobles, and philosophers. Unlike weapons built purely for brute force, the Jian rewarded skill and finesse. It became deeply tied to Chinese martial arts and Taoist philosophy, often seen as a symbol of virtue and self-cultivation as much as a tool of war. Even today, the Jian remains central to traditional Chinese sword forms and ceremonies. Where the Jian was elegant and precise, the Dao was raw and practical. This single-edged, often curved blade was the workhorse of Chinese warfare, favored by cavalry and infantry alike for its slashing power. Easier to master than the Jian, the Dao became the weapon of choice for common soldiers across centuries of Chinese military history. Its curved design allowed for powerful cutting strikes, making it devastating in the fast, close-quarters chaos of battle. From ancient dynasties to more recent history, the Dao endured, a symbol of practicality winning out over ceremony. Few swords in history carry as much mystery as the Ulfberht. Forged by Viking smiths, each blade bore an inscription of its maker's name. Xiphos Ulfberht, etched directly into the steel. What makes the Ulfberht extraordinary is its metallurgy. Modern analysis has shown these swords were made from crucible steel, a remarkably pure high-carbon steel far superior to anything else being produced in Europe at the time. This technology wouldn't become common in the West for centuries, so how did Viking smiths get their hands on it? Many historians believe the raw steel was imported through extensive Viking trade routes stretching as far as the Middle East. Owning an Ulfberht wasn't just about having a sharper sword, it was a mark of status, wealth, and connection to a trade network spanning thousands of miles. The Shamshir, Persian for lion's claw, is instantly recognizable by its dramatic curve. Developed in Persia and later spreading across the Islamic world, this single-edged blade was built for one purpose: the slash. Mounted warriors could deliver devastating, sweeping cuts while riding at full speed, the curve of the blade allowing it to slice through flesh with terrifying efficiency. Unlike swords designed for thrusting or heavy chopping, the Shamshir was light, fast, and elegant, a weapon that turned horseback combat into a deadly art form. Its influence spread far beyond Persia, shaping sword designs across the Middle East, Central Asia, and even South Asia. The talwar carried the curved blade tradition into the Indian subcontinent, becoming one of the most iconic weapons of Indian warriors, from Rajput clans to Mughal armies. Like the Shamshir, it featured a curved, single-edged blade built for slashing. But the Talwar added its own signature feature, a distinctive disc-shaped hilt that gave the wielder exceptional control and grip during rapid sweeping strikes. Talwars weren't just functional weapons. Many were works of art, elaborately decorated with engravings, gold inlay, and jewels, reflecting the status of the noble or warrior who carried them. On the battlefield, the Talwar became a symbol of Indian martial pride, wielded by some of history's most formidable armies. From the disciplined phalanxes of Greece to the horseback warriors of Persia, each of these swords tells us something about the culture that forged it. They weren't just tools of war, they were reflections of philosophy, status, trade, and identity. And though the age of the sword has long passed, these blades continue to capture our imagination centuries later. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more sword history.